Okay, so in today's episode of the Title Minute, we're going to talk about what happens when someone is purchasing property in a community property state that does not want or can't have their spouse on title with them. Now, there's a bunch of different scenarios that this might apply to. Maybe one of the spouses, maybe only one of the spouses can qualify for the loan, and the lender is actually requiring that the property be owned as their sole and separate property. Maybe somebody has an inheritance and they want to purchase the property on their own. For whatever reason, let's say there's a married couple and one of them is purchasing a property and they do not want community property with rights of survivorship to apply to this specific real property. So there's really only one way around this. And the first thing is the grant deed of the person that's actually going to own the property. The property would need to be vested as a married man or woman as their sole and separate property. Now, that is one piece of it. The other piece of it is the other spouse, the one that is not going to be on title. They actually have to sign an interspousal deed or a grant deed stating and affirming that that the interest in the property is for their spouse as their sole and separate property, recording it on the chain of title, affirming that community property does not apply. Now, the non-borrowing spouse or the spouse that's not going to be on title, this interspousal deed or grant deed would actually be prepared during escrow, and it would have to be notarized by the other person, affirming on the chain of title that indeed community property does not apply. It's really as simple as that. The grant deed by the person that's going to own the property needs to say a married man or woman is their sole and separate property. And then the spouse that's not going to be on title would just have to have a notarized and recorded grant or interspousal transfer deed stating that the property, that basically relinquishing all their rights to the property. It's just those two documents. Of course, if you have any questions at all, please let us know, and be sure to tune into another episode of the Title Minute where I'm going to share with you what happens when someone gets married after they've already acquired property by themselves and how that can be affected by community property. Thank you for tuning into the Title Minute, and we'll see you real soon.